You know that deeply specific, uh, slightly shameful feeling when you get into bed and tell yourself, just 5 minutes of scrolling.
Oh yeah, we all know that one.
Right, and then 2 hours later, you are deep in the void and your brain just feels like, I don't know, absolute static. So today's deep dive is tackling what we are calling the scroll hole.
It is a very real place.
It really is. We are unpacking a fascinating new article that breaks down the exact psychology of our screen habits. Because our mission today isn't just to, gawk at why these devices trap us. We want to pull the actual strategies from this research so you can actually reclaim your evening.
And the most important thing this research does right off the bat is, well, it replaces that heavy wave of guilt you feel with actual scientific awareness.
Which is a relief, honestly.
Exactly. Because when you are lying in bed staring at a screen, it is a profoundly unfair fight. You have to realize it is your tired, end-of-the-day brain going up against a multi-billion-dollar supercomputer.
Okay, I do have to push back a little here, though. I mean, blaming the algorithm always feels like a bit of a cop-out,
Sure, I hear that.
right? Like, are the engineers really overriding our free will? Or are we just, tired and lacking basic discipline at 11 p.m.?
Well, it is a really natural assumption to make, but the research points to this massive physiological mismatch. It is not actually about a lack of discipline, it is about decision fatigue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so by 11 p.m., your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and complex planning, it is severely depleted. But the algorithm, on the other hand, it never gets tired.
It is just wide awake and waiting for you.
Exactly. It is actively analyzing your pauses and your swipe speeds to serve up this perfectly timed mix of like soothing content and then shocking news.
So it taps right into that digital slot machine effect.
Yes, precisely.
Because it is not just that you're getting a reward. It is that the reward is delivered on a variable ratio schedule. I mean, you swipe, maybe it is a funny dog video. You swipe again, and it's a boring cooking recipe.
Right, and that specific unpredictability is exactly what causes dopamine to spike so aggressively. Every swipe delivers this microdose.
Which leads straight to doom scrolling.
Yeah, your subconscious becomes completely hooked on that instant gratification. You are continually pulling a lever because the mystery of the next swipe is just irresistible to a fatigued brain.
So you are searching for a resolution that the engineers have intentionally designed to be elusive, just to keep your eyes locked on the glass.
Right, so to resist it, we have to look at this differently.
Because if our prefrontal cortex is offline and willpower is just a biological myth in this scenario, how do we actually manage to resist? We cannot out-engineer thousands of Silicon Valley developers from our mattress.
No, we definitely cannot. So we don't try to out-engineer them. We change the battlefield entirely by altering our physical environment.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, the article highlights this really practical concept of building friction. Since your brain craves that effortless microdose of dopamine right there on your nightstand, you have to introduce physical obstacles.
I love this. So instead of trying to build an impenetrable fortress of mental willpower, we're basically just putting annoying little speed bumps in front of our thumbs.
That is exactly it. Things like charging your phone all the way across the room.
Right. Or the tactic from the article that really stood out to me was switching the screen to grayscale mode.
Yes, the grayscale trick is huge. When you switch to grayscale, you are actually short-circuiting the brain's visual reward pathway.
Wait, really? Just by removing the color?
Yeah, because app developers use specific shades of red for notifications, right? Evolutionary biology hardwires us to pay attention to high contrast colors.
Oh, like right food or danger.
Exactly. To our primate brains, bright red signals urgency, danger, or ripe, calorie-dense fruit. So when you turn the screen to gray, you literally lower the dopamine anticipation before you even tap the app.
Because it makes the interface incredibly boring to the human eye.
It is so boring. And that is the point. You aren't building willpower. You are just buying your conscious brain a few seconds of clarity.
And that momentary pause is all the friction you need to actually choose a healthy habit, like maybe reaching for a novel or doing some light stretching instead of falling back into the infinite feed.
Right. Shifting from guilt to awareness is your first real step toward getting your time back. You have to understand how the game is rigged physically and biologically before you can change the rules of engagement.
Which leaves us with a pretty wild question to take away today. If simply removing bright colors from a phone screen is enough to defeat a multi-billion-dollar psychological trap, what other parts of your physical, everyday environment are secretly manipulating your daily choices through color and convenience?
That is a really unsettling thought.
It is. Something for you to think about tonight. Ideally while your phone is safely charging on the completely opposite side of the room. Don't let the slot machine win.